Welcome to another edition of Dungeons and Social Distancing with Nerdarchy.
Today we delve back into Mythic Odysseys of Theros, this time with subclasses.
Welcome to Nerdarchy, for nerds, by nerds. I'm Nerdarchy Dave, and as usual, I'm joined by this nerd.
Nerdarchy Ted.
If you want more D&D player discussions, make sure you click that subscribe button to keep those D&D videos flowing.
And never miss another Nerdarchy video by clicking that notification bell.
Before we jump into our video, we want to thank our sponsor, D&D Beyond. Matter of fact, we'll be bringing up the content on D&D Beyond. It makes it so easy to find anything officially D&D for 5th edition, as well as making our characters, building encounters, and doing so much more over there.
D&D Beyond is a great resource. You can play D&D straight from it with the new Dice app or Dice application built within the site itself. There's so many great resources, even if you're not going to get into it, with all of the great articles, videos, as well as everything on the SRD. So you got to check out D&D Beyond, just like we do.
Now, you'll be able to pick up Mythic Odysseys of Theros over on Amazon or on D&D Beyond. There will be links in the description below. And with that, let's jump into it. We've got two new subclasses for Mythic Odysseys of Theros.
So the first up is going to be the College of Eloquence, which we did get as a UA, but it is vastly different than what we initially saw within that UA. Some of the features that were there have been split into multiple levels, multiple paths, similar effects, but with different mechanics. Some of the third and sixth level abilities have been swapped. All right, so let's dive into what the official class is with the Bard College of Eloquence. Adherents of the College of Eloquence master the art of oratory. Persuasion is regarded as a high art, and a well-reasoned, well-spoken argument often proves more persuasive than facts. These bards wield a blend of logic and theatrical wordplay, winning over skeptics and detractors with logical arguments and plucking at heartstrings to appeal to the emotions of audiences. So, diving down into that, Silver Tongue at 3rd level, you are at master at saying the right thing at the right time. When you make a Charisma Persuasion or Charisma Deception check, you can treat a d20 roll of 9 or lower as a 10.
I was just going to say, so basically right away, you're almost getting that rogue ability with skills that they get at like 11th level. I mean, it's not quite as good, and the focus is a bit narrower, but we are seeing kind of like those mechanics for the rogue being inserted here.
I have to say, getting something like that at 3rd level, super powerful with persuasion and deception. I almost think that's too good for such a low level. I happen to allow players to use persuasion and deception quite a lot in my games. So to me, that's a little bit heavier than some other abilities. So you're kind of going to get away with a lot, going down this road.
You're also talking about Prime Stat, and this is a good possibility that this particular bard will put their expertises in those skills, right? So 4, 7, like that's a 17 as your low roll. Yeah. So everyone is going to believe what you say. But we are also talking about something from Theros where like it's going to fit the setting of this being kind of an over-the-top thing. True. 3rd level, you also get another ability called Unsettling Words. You can spin words laced with magic that unsettle a creature or cause it to doubt itself. As a bonus action, you can spend 1 use of your Bardic Inspiration. Choose 1 creature you can see within 60 feet of you. Roll your Bardic Inspiration die. The creature must subtract that number rolled from the next saving throw it makes before the start of your next turn. So whether you combo this with your other spellcasters in your game, or if you setting yourself up, bonus action, boom, spend inspiration die, then you cast your spell on them.
Yeah, so you can definitely have a number of detractors, because you couple that with Bane and some other things. You could definitely turn something that's a high number into utter crud if you play it just right.
At 6th level, we're also going to get Unfailing Inspiration.
Your inspiring words are so persuasive that others feel driven to succeed. When a creature adds one of your bardic inspiration dice to the ability check, attack roll, or saving throw, and the roll fails, the creature can keep the bardic inspiration die.
I love this feature. To me, it's one of those things that it almost feels like a waste when somebody uses that bardic inspiration die and it doesn't succeed. It's like, man, that's a limited resource and it went down the tube. So to me, I'm praising this ability. I can't say enough.
Sometimes that's the point, though, right? You spend it, you lose it, it doesn't do anything. That's the luck of the draw. But it is nice. It is nice. It extends out your bardic inspiration. You're going to get more bang for the buck, and more than likely, they're going to get used and not wasted. Now, just because the gameplay and the things of the way play out, they might vanish due to duration instead.
That is entirely true. 6th level, you're also going to get Universal Speech. You have gained the ability to make your speech intelligible to any creature. As an action, choose one or more creatures within 60 feet of you up to the number equal to your charisma modifier, minimum 1. The chosen creatures can magically understand you regardless of the language you speak for 1 hour. Once you use this feature, you can't use it again until you finish a long rest, unless you expend a spell slot to use it again. They've begun testing this ability in the UA, and I am a massive fan of class abilities being able to be reset with the expenditure of spell slots or other, fun things. Oh, man.
Yeah, it's just, if you have a feature that's kind of interesting and more flavorful or even more fun sometimes, then, casting a spell and having that option is super nice. And also, too, like, this is a very utility type ability, so it's not likely your players are going to break the game with it. So if they want to blow their spell slots into it, why not?
I'm seriously into it. 14th level, Infectious Inspiration. When you successfully inspire someone, the power of your Eloquence can now spread to someone else. When a creature within 60 feet of you adds one of your bardic inspiration die to its ability check, attack roll, or saving throw, and the roll succeeds, you can use your reaction to encourage a different creature other than yourself that can hear you within 60 feet of you, giving it bardic inspiration die without expending any of your bardic inspiration uses. You can use this reaction a number of times equal to your charisma modifier, minimum once, and you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. So this is basically doubling down, or doubling the number of bardic inspiration through the use of your reaction mechanic.
Yeah, when you kind of like tally up everything you're doing from that 3rd level ability and now this 14th level ability, that this bard is going to be the most inspirational bard to ever bard that bard it, for sure.
When you combine that with their silver tongue, they're making people do what they want. So, yeah, this is that, I am that awesome kind of character. So, I dig it, man.
That being said, like, I don't feel like, this can't be in my game or this is too powerful, because still, all in all, the lure bard is still super strong.
In no way, shape, or form was I saying that it was, too powerful and I wouldn't allow it in my game. It's official D&D material. I'm going to allow it. To me, it just falls into that realm of, eyebrow raising with, like, the Yontai Pureblood. It's powerful. It's at the top of its game, in my opinion. If you're the kind of player that isn't overusing persuasion and deception, well, then it's not a big deal. But if you're going to walk into town and everyone that disagrees with you is like, I'm going to make a skill roll, I'm going to make a skill roll, and force my, try to force my NPCs to, go in a different direction, like, that's where it's going to get tricky, and, that's where, problems can arise. But
also, I want to say, this is the bard's bard of memes, right? This is like every meme you've seen about bards, this is the bard that did it. That's why this meme exists. This is probably the seducer bard.
Yeah, I can totally see that happening.
Well, with that, we have a second subclass to dive into. This is for Paladin, Oath of Glory. It was previously known as the Oath of Heroism. Tenet changed from Embrace Destiny to Discipline the Soul. spells. Expeditious Retreat became Heroism, and Thrall to Magic Weapon, Conjure Volley to Flame Strike. There was a change in their channel Divinity. Peerless Athlete adds higher carry, push, pull, drag, lift, and increases jump. Legendary Strike becomes Inspiring Smite, which is different than what it was before. So basically, for the Paladin, it's almost like a rewrite. There's so much that has changed from what was in the UA, and this one is kind of near and dear to Ted's heart.
Well, that's because I'm playing a Paladin Oath of Heroism character over on Mini Terrain Domain Thursday nights. So it's amusing. So like I'm gonna have to pull out the UA and pull out the new book and be like, all right, here's all the changes. Not that we've already done the research, but like with my character and be like, all right, this is what's legit. So this is what I'm going to. I actually had a conversation with somebody, so like I knew the change of what was happening with Legendary Strike before I got this. I kind of got a sample teaser ahead of time, because honestly the Legendary Strike ability of I have to use a bonus action, and for the next minute, if I don't roll a 19, that bonus action was complete and utter trash. And that was what they had gotten with a lot of feedback. So they're like, all right, we're gonna ditch this and we're gonna replace it with something else. So I'm eager to try out the new stuff. And over on D&D Beyond, I still technically have the archived version, but once I switch them over to Oath of Glory, heroism forever. Heroism is gone. I can't get it back. So
it's done for good. You like the name better, and like the players that I play with tend to be a little immature, so it's just ugly. It gets ugly when you use the word glory in anything. But we have the Paladin Oath of Glory. Paladins who take the Oath of Glory believe they and their companions are destined to achieve glory through deeds of heroism. They train diligently and encourage their companions, so they're all ready when destiny calls. And then we have the Tenants of Glory.
So, action over words. Strive to be known by glorious deeds, not words. Challenges are but tests. Face hardships with courage, and encourage your allies to face them with you. Hone the body. Like raw stone, your body must be worked, so its potential can be realized. Discipline the soul. You must marshal the discipline to overcome failings within yourself that threaten to dim the glory of you and your friends.
So now we're going to get our oath spells. Third level, we're going to get Guiding Bolt and Heroism.
Fifth level, you get Enhance Ability and Magic Weapon.
At ninth level, we get Haste and Protection from Energy.
13th level, you get Compulsion and Freedom of Movement.
17th level, Commune and Flame Strike. So all in all, this is a really good spell list. It's a lot of buffs, enhancements, some protection, and also Guiding Bolt is just a nice, I'm going to do damage, and then basically it's a buff for the next attack against that person.
I gotta say though, man, Paladins with haste. Paladins with haste. As if they don't have enough smites to go around.
Right, double the smite. Your problem is like, oh no, I've run out of spells and I have so much more smites to give. Third level, you're also going to get your Channel Divinity, which is Peerless Athlete. A bonus action, you can use your Channel Divinity to augment your athleticism for the next 10 minutes. You have advantage on Strength Athletics and Dexterity Acrobatics check. You can carry, push, drag, and lift twice as much weight as normal, and the distance of your long and high jumps increased by 10 extra feet. This costs your normal amount of movement, so you can be a lot more athletic if you want to.
You also have Inspiring Smite. Immediately after you deal damage to a creature with your Divine Smite feature, you can use your Channel Divinity as a bonus action and distribute temporary hit points to creatures of your choice within 30 feet of you, which can include you. The total number of hit points equals a 2d8 plus your level in this class, divided among the chosen creatures however you like. So this is the big replacement to that Legendary Smite. And I gotta say, I think it's pretty awesome. It's not all just about, glory for me, but glory for you and your companions. So when I look at my specific character and the use of this, I feel like, and if you're not familiar with the game, you're not going to fully understand the nuance, but there is definitely some fun that I'm going to have using that ability. So I am certainly looking forward to having that happen. So, huzzah!
Yeah, these channel divinities are great. You're hitting the exploration pillar, we're hitting the combat pillar. Being able to do something after you use a smite, and be like, oh, all right, and have a bunch of temporary hit points now that I've just like crushed this guy. You've all been inspired to take more to resist more damage. So now we're going to get into our Aura of Alacrity, and that goes up. You get it at 7th, and it'll go up again and extend out at 18th level. You emanate an aura that fills you and your companions with supernatural speed, allowing you to race across the battlefield in formation. Your walking speed increases by 10 feet. In addition, if you aren't incapacitated, the walking speed of any ally who starts their turn within 5 feet of you increases by 10 feet until the end of the turn. At 18th level, the range of this aura increases to 10 feet. So this is just pretty awesome because every one of your companions around you are just faster. So like if you, the fighter, and the barbarian need to get over there faster, you can help them all do it. But you as the paladin, your speed is just always going to be 10 feet faster.
This speaks to me because like that character already has an increased speed from levels in other classes. So I'm like giddy about, hey, now I'm, even faster than what I was before. When I get to 7th level paladin anyway. But it's definitely fun. The tactical angle of, moving into battle in formation, definitely a lot of fun. Thematically, it really works, when you look at, like the movie 300, where they're all having to move in formation to make things happen. So, yeah, I totally dig this.
Yeah, it's very thematic. So 15th level, we're going to get Glorious Defense. You can turn Defense into Sudden Strike. When you or another creature you can see within 10 feet of you is hit by an attack roll, you can use a reaction to grant a bonus to the AC against the attack, potentially causing it to miss. The bonus equals your Charisma modifier. If the attack misses, you can make one weapon attack against the attacker as part of the reaction, provided the attacker is within your weapon's range. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your Charisma modifier, and you regain it all expended uses when you finish a long rest. So, really, if you have a longbow on hand, as long as you can, they're within your weapon's range, 600 feet or so, you can use this ability.
Yeah, it's really good. I love the ability of potentially turning an attack that was successful into a miss, and then getting a free attack out of it. I definitely love it. Definitely all for it.
Now, granted, I am wrong because I said range of your weapon, but you have to. You can see within 10 feet of you, so you cannot longbow them across the battlefield.
And finally, we're going to get Living Legend at 20th level. You can empower yourself with the legends, whether true or exaggerated, of your great deeds. As a bonus action, you gain the following benefits for 1 minute. You are blessed with an otherworldly presence, gaining advantage on all charisma checks. Once on each of your turns, when you make a weapon attack and miss, you can cause that attack to hit instead. And if you fail a saving throw, you can use your reaction to re-roll it, and you must use the new roll. Once you use this feature, you can't use it again until you finish a long rest, unless you expend a 5th level spell slot to use it again.
So this is a capstone ability we're now seeing, where you get to use it again if you expend a spell slot. Now, granted, 5th level is the highest level spell slot a paladin can get, so that's going to be a limiting factor unto itself. And I feel like the spells that you get at 5th level are really good.
So sacrificing all those d8s on your smites.
Well, you max out at 4th level spell slots anyway, so
that's true.
So that might be slightly a mitigating factor, but I do like options, right? I do like when, as a player, I have the option, and even as the DM, I like it when my players have the option. So that whether they have to decide, is this worth doing again by spending this spell slot or not? So that part is pretty cool, and also like this ability has combat application, but it also has social application as well. So if you're in the audience with the king, you might invoke this power, right? And all of a sudden, like from nowhere, sun begins to shine down on you. The heavens open up, and the choir of angels sings, and then the king himself knows he's in divine presence. So it could be fun role playing and kind of cool. And also like where other social abilities I feel like you want to be subtle with. This one is like the opposite, in my opinion, right? You're like, you want to be like the shining beacon and be like, no, I am absolutely doing something and affecting you, but it's like through sheer force of will and, being divinely inspired.
And you're talking about, being in the audience of the king, but I mean, realistically, like, I'm plumbing the depths of the hells, or, walking amongst the gods themselves, staking out a dragon's lair. Like, we're talking 20th level characters. The sky's the limit. Beyond the skies is the limit. We're talking about, campaigns where you can get into planar travel and talking with the gods. 20th level, like, there's nothing outside of your reach at that point in time. So sometimes, you're going to be talking to things that you really need, all stops, all bells and whistles pulled so that you can possibly succeed or survive that next encounter.
And also, I feel like there's a double standard, right? When the paladin does it, it's divine, but when the rogue does it, he's being scummy. So, one of the things when I look at this subclass in particular, the satyr from Theros is a great fix for it. It's got the charisma to go along with it. Mm-hmm. It's got the dexterity, so that's a very physical stat and athleticism. But like the other abilities that it gets are kind of cool for using with this subclass. The extra jumping it gets, and also imagine slamming your head down on somebody with that ram attack. And it's hitting them with the maximum smitage possible. I think that would be a lot of fun.
Oh, that would be glorious.
So,
pun intended.
Yeah. Speaking of such, so all in all, this is a great set of subclasses. These are great. I would allow them in my game. Can't wait to see what players do with them in my game.
But we're not done yet. While we're done with subclasses, there is another class. There is another player option in that, and that's going to be another background. And since there's only one, we're going to tack it into this, and that is going to be athlete. You strive to perfect yourself physically and in execution of everything you do. The thrill of competition lights fire in your blood, and the roar of the crowd drives you forward. Tales of your exploits precede you and might open doors or loosen tongues. Whether in one of the Pleiades, between them, or among the non-human peoples of Theros, physical contests and those who pursue them command respect bordering on reverence. Athletes arise from all walks of life and all cultures and quite often cross paths with one another. So you get skill proficiencies of acrobatics and athletics, a language of your choice, and vehicles land. So it is the most physical of the backgrounds. Acrobatics is one of those things that, especially from like earlier editions where it was like, you got to be these, special things in order to get acrobatics. But, here it's listed as, anybody can kind of get it. But to have both athletics and acrobatics for those characters who really want to be very physical, I think this is a perfect background, and I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, and when you combine it with vehicles land, it very much makes me think of a gladiator style character. We're gonna get some equipment, or we're gonna get a bronze disc or leather ball, lucky charm, or past trophy, set of traveler's clothes, and a pouch containing gold pieces. Not exciting. We're gonna have our favorite event, and then our feature is Echoes of Victory. You have attracted admiration among spectators, fellow athletes, and trainers in a region that hosted your past athletic victories. When you visit a settlement within 100 miles of where you grew up, there is a 50% chance you can find someone who admires you and is willing to provide information or temporary shelter. Between adventures, you might compete in athletic events sufficient enough to maintain a comfortable lifestyle. So we're seeing a little bit of different stuff here, like it's a mechanic, it's a percentage. You might get a benefit, you might not get a benefit. Slightly different. And again, like the benefit tends to be a little bit more on the role-playing side, as it should be for a background.
I dig this. I like what's here. I like the fact that, in a world where they have sporting competitions, which, a lot of D&D games that I've been in, there hasn't been that kind of stuff. We've talked on the channel about things that Dave has done with some of his monstrous races in our games. But, this is standard culture, so to have things where, different places could be competing
and there is legitimate fame. And like, oh, you might get recognized. So like, you could have that, very high, charismatic physical character who strides into town head held high because he knows that, people might recognize him from, an event in his past.
So if you want to see more Mythic Odysseys of Theros content, check out Races of Theros video. It's up here somewhere.
Do you want to support Nerdarchy? Did you know that we have a Patreon? Over there, we're creating products every month for 5th edition for DMs and players alike.
But that's not all. We do weekly hangouts with our patrons, monthly giveaways our patrons are automatically entered in, and more.
So until next time,
Stay nerdy.